Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's D2CL action. Power Rangers against Na'Vi, finally getting this underway after a pretty long final match that PR had to play up against VP. It ended well for them, so let's see if they can play well against Na'Vi. Heading into the draft, let's see how things are going, and I can also welcome in my co-commentator tonight, Scant. How are you doing?
I'm good. Really good to be here, and it's really excited to get to see Na'Vi playing. It's been a while since DAC, and they've got a stand-in here. I'm not sure if you know anything about Uber.
His name is Ivan. I believe that's what the Uber stands for in Cyrillic to English. So Ivan, he played with Solo, King R, and a couple of other guys on, I don't know if you remember the team called 25, XX5. He's also played with like Aspera and Vega, but he hasn't, you know, made two great strides just yet until Vanscore, you know, sort of vouched for him apparently and said, give this guy a try, let's see how he does. So yeah, first time we see Na'Vi since DAC. This should be interesting. They were meant to have a game yesterday up against Empire, but I believe there were some issues with internet connectivity with a couple of the players. Let's see what they've got in store, because I'm sure Godblack has spent the last, what, month and a half planning how to break his way back into the scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably it's the first time since Dota 2 existed that we get to this stage a few months before TI, and Na'Vi are in basically the same boat as a team like Power Rangers when it comes to the chance of getting an invite at this point, I think. So they need to be getting results. They need to be winning these kind of matches, showing that their status is there for a reason, that they're still a massive team. And so far this year, they've not really done that.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can do it this game. Axe and Shadow Fiend, the first two pickups from Na'Vi. Pretty common heroes. Like, so often nowadays, we see the blue strat or the red and black strat. Axe SF offer you lots of mid-game control. Shadow Fiend is damn good on the lane now with the increased power from his raises. 25 across each, 25 extra damage across each raise. But then you see PR. Pretty much opposite side of the field with Vengeful Spirit and Sniper. Venge, very highly rated support, both defensively and offensively with Swap, Magic Missile. The minus armor from Wave of Terror is probably the key thing there. The fact that you can clear creep waves, jungle camps, ancients, Roshan. You know, the world is your oyster. And Sniper, he is such a dominant laner now with the triple shrapnel.
He is. I mean, Sniper's an excellent hero right now, but we cast a few games earlier, and I think Sniper lost every single game we cast earlier. So I don't know, maybe it's a bit too soon to say, but is it possible that teams are learning how to deal with Sniper and the heroes actually maybe being picked a bit too highly?
I'm not sure. I still think he's very strong, but I do agree with you. Teams are learning, you know, definitely how to draft against him, because we're seeing a lot more Clockwork, Spectre, gap closers. Like, I don't know, especially now with the type of heroes we're seeing, casters, one of the main phrases in their arsenal is closing the gap. So often now we see heroes like Earthshaker, Clockwork, just heroes with long-range initiation, able to jump on people.
Yeah, I think perhaps one thing is that some of the snipers' item builds need to adjust. I've seen recently a few snipers not going. I mean, you said earlier a lot of them aren't going Blink anymore. That was a popular thing at first. There's also a few stopping going Mask of Madness, and I think sometimes that might be the secret. If the other teams drafted gap closers, as you call them, it might not be correct to do the full glass cannon build on Sniper.
Yeah, just go into stats, go, you know, treads even we've seen recently, treads, drums, Sanjin Yasha, just build up as many stats as you can. Attack speed obviously is great, but if you're not staying alive long enough to put out that damage and keep the attack speed going, then it's not really worth a whole lot. Lion is the third pick from Power Rangers after banning out AA and Rubik. The Lina and ES bans from Na'Vi. That's, you know, the Lina is more of a CIS thing. The solo mid Lina has become so powerful.
Yeah, and getting both the Lion and the Vengeful Spirits, the two kind of talisman support heroes for this patch, they kind of seen as the strongest supports, and Na'Vi don't have any of their supports yet, and most of the bans are actually support heroes. Probably like 6 of the bans, I think, are support heroes.
7 even.
Don't know if you count Lina.
Well, I guess, yeah, Lina solo mid, but we have seen her occasionally in the support role, like a 4-role Lina isn't too uncommon. Na'Vi with a Bane pick, now, that's a Godblack hero. We don't see it too much in, like, the current style of play, simply because he doesn't offer any AoE. He can't really stack and pull and clear creep camps, he's not a greedy support. He basically just tries to win a lane for someone.
Yeah, and Power Rangers respond with the Batrider, which is a hero that just seems to transcend time. It doesn't matter the patch, doesn't matter the year. You'll always see a Batrider dominating Dota 2 games.
Yeah, he offers so much regardless of the period of the game. Early game, can farm jungle with Firefly, Napalm. Mid game, that lasso with Blink, and then late game with Blink, Force Staff, Boots of Travel. You can be a global threat. So I definitely see Batrider constantly being in fashion.
Yeah, it's just the concept of the hero. It's not about the numbers. You can tweak the numbers all day. It's what he can do. He can move you somewhere else, and he can stop you from turning, and he can farm the jungle. It's just like absurd things which are really good to do in concept. So tweaking the numbers here and there, I don't know. Unless his base damage gets reduced to 20, I see Batrider being a fixture in Dota 2 for pretty much forever.
Yeah, they've tried to nerf him, but it just didn't work. Lion, on the other hand, is a hero that's been buffed, and he's finally seeing some play. I still think that Mana Drain is a ridiculous skill. The fact that you can be self-sufficient with Tranquil Boots and Mana Drain and not have to go back to the fountain, I find that pretty amazing.
Yeah, to the point that Lions these days just often settle for 1 point in Hex and max the Mana Drain because it's that important, it's that valuable.
Yeah. I still feel like it's situational. Sometimes the extra point in Hex is definitely valuable, especially when you're against, one high-profile target. Let's say there's a Medusa on the enemy team, and you need that extra duration in Hex, but also the decreased cooldown, because I believe it goes from like 20 seconds to half of that, 10 seconds or something on level 4. I can't remember the numbers, but it definitely decreases massively as you level it up. So, sometimes it's worth going for a couple of extra points in Hex over the Mana Drain. 5th ban there, Disruptor by PR. That's a new one on me. When you've got Bane, who's a lane support, taking someone out like a Disruptor, I guess he's good against Batrider. If Sniper's trying to kite people around, he's pretty decent there as well.
I think it's the Batrider thing. They figured that they've already got the Venge. Shadow Demon's not really very popular, and Disruptor's probably next on the list of those at countering the Bat initiation. So just get rid of it. And I don't think Navi would want to pick Shadow Demon, in which case the Batrider's going to have a good time jumping on people. And SFs actually really struggle against Batriders, I think. I think it's one of the best heroes to control a Shadow Fiend with.
Oh, SF at mid?
Oh, no, I just mean in general, not about in the lane stage. Okay. Just like, SFs don't like being put out of position.
Yeah. And also the turn rate, because you rely so heavily on turning around to target your well, not really target, but line up your razors, that one sticky napalm on you can really be detrimental to what you're trying to do as the SF. But obviously we're looking at Axe and Slark, who are great at jumping on people and being the initiators, so we'll probably see them trying to put Shadow Fiend into a safe place. Wraith King from Power Rangers now. Sniper mid, Batrider off lane, then they've got 2 decent roaming supports in the Lion and Vengeful Spirit, plenty of disable, but as a Radiant team, they've got great Roshan taking potential.
Yeah, the Wraith King's a hero we haven't seen a lot recently, actually. It sort of lost its popularity for a while. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I feel like part of its popularity was that Void was really popular, and it was a good hero to have against Void, because you don't really mind being chronosphered. Slark as well. Slark, I feel like, hasn't been that popular recently. I think it's CISC and it's still fairly popular.
Oh man, Bane Mirana support duo. It's been a while, but yeah, Slark. We've seen it a lot from players like Mantis on X Game. Although that team really doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't exist anymore, but it doesn't play as often as they really should. They were a great team, but definitely Mantis Slark was amazing. Havos Slark obviously equally amazing. I just need to switch to holding screen for a second and see if I can change this.
Sure. Yeah, and of course the Illidan Slark's also pretty big, but in general in the metagame in this patch, I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of Slark at DAC, but it just wasn't happening. So yeah, it's made a bit of a resurgence, but so has the Wraith King. And it looks like it's going to be a defensive tri-lane from Power Rangers, as you suggested. Nothing too special about that.
I just need to really back to the game.
Goblax started with Boots of Speed on Bane. Always really good when you have the Bane Mirana combo. Just set up those sleeves for the arrows. And any hero on Power Rangers who gets caught alone is definitely going to die to that combo.
Yeah, definitely. How are the lanes panning out here? Havost guarding that top bounty rune. Zara you're going to have a pretty rough time. Goblak, I'm kind of expecting, obviously, the Mirana Bane combo, just Nightmare and Arrow, but you can't forget the power of Enfeeble. The fact that Bane can literally go to a lane, if he puts Enfeeble on the Sniper, how much damage does it reduce? 30 damage reduction. Sniper has about 50 damage. He already has a hard enough time last hitting. If you put Enfeeble on him, he literally cannot last hit.
And Power Rangers just had one of their Observer Wards killed, which I think we shouldn't understate. Right at the beginning of the game, when you only have 2 wards, if one of them dies immediately, you really just do have a blind spot on half the map. I suppose it's better for them that was the ward at their safe lane where they've got 3 heroes. Otherwise, the Batrider would be completely blind in the off lane.
Yeah,
and
well,
fortunately, Batrider's ward is actually also on a rune.
That's pretty good for him. Cheshire Cat on the Batrider heading up to this top lane against Havost on the Slark. Goblak heading up top as well, while Vanskor on the Mirana waits for an arrow maybe at mid. Zara playing the Sniper up against Dendy's Shadow Fiend, and then down at bot lane. We already see it double stunned there. Magic Missile into Earth Spike onto Ivan, who's playing the Axe. Soneko and J4 making his life a living hell. Then D2CL playing that Wraith King. One roll Wraith King. It's come up a couple of times over the past month. Slesh and I have talked about this, and we feel there's only really 2 avenues you can go down with him. Either you go the full-on like initiation build, where maybe you go Midas into Blink, and then go into something like Blade Mail, or you go down the route where you just go full-on killing people, like the Slardar build, where you just go straight into Blink and move around with your supports. So I don't know if he's going to be more focused on farming. It feels like that's where D2CL prefers to go, into a farming role with his one-roll heroes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, certainly he's that kind of player, but you get the sense that with the Sniper in their team that the Wraith King's job is going to be kind of just pulling people away from Sniper, charging in and drawing attention towards himself.
Yeah,
normally that's what happens.
His role has always been damage sink. If he can bait out 2 or 3 spells from the enemy team, that's his job done. He comes back to life with Reincarnation, then starts fighting all over again. So if he can get a Nightmare Arrow or Requiem onto him, then he'll feel pretty happy for himself. But obviously he's got to get to that stage first. How are we looking last hit wise? Dendy on this SF doubling up on last hits against Zara. Sniper, like I was saying, with that base attack damage, not doing too great. The increased damage on Razors means that Dendy can, just like this, control creep wave, push it out to go and get the rune. In fact, Vanskor takes the bounty up top, and the supports will be controlling rune down at bot. So Dendy...
Yeah, this lane is actually really difficult for Sniper. I think the way Sniper's meant to try and win the lane is through a lot of shrapnels and very aggressive harassment at the start. But now that SF's already got double his CS, I think it's going to get worse and worse for the Sniper in terms of last hits.
Yeah, the only good thing going for them is that the ward you pointed out up here will be able to see Bane and Mirana moving around. Do they have a smoke on either of them? No. No smoke. So once they get a smoke, that Sniper is going to have a rough time. You can already see that J4 is standing right behind that tier 1 tower, just prepping for whenever the 2 supports from the Dire move out.
Well, he's actually popped a smoke himself, so they might be trying to go on the SF here, but I don't think the Dendy's in any kind of position to die right now.
What are we looking at? Level 2 shrapnel? 1 magic missile? I don't think so, no.
I mean, if he crossed the river and then got hit by 3 shrapnels and a stun, yeah, sure. But like on his side of the map, not even, there's no chance.
No, probably not. Ivan has given up on this bot lane. He's had enough of being harassed out by Soneko. That lion, he does do a lot of harass. I kind of see him often as an aggressive support mid-game. But obviously when you throw out a right click, and then another right click, and then Earth Spike as they try and turn around, you can get 3, 4, maybe even 5 hits in there to harass out an offlane before they can even realize, or before they can react to what's going on. Batrider with a couple of stacks here, gonna try and pump up his gold, losing a bit of HP, but nevertheless, hits level 3.
So both offlaners abandoning their lane. It's probably quite likely we'll see one of Wraith King and Slark, maybe both getting a Midas. You often see it when they get an open lane really early, just like might as well get a Midas because you have every single creep. I think a Vorst looks to be going for Midas if you look at the amount of gold he's accrued and bought no items.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Midas Slark. He's one of those heroes, there's like the 2 fish heroes, Slardar and Slark. If you go for a naked blink, sometimes it works on Slardar, but mid-game you do really struggle trying to build up your farm. You don't have any real flash farming abilities. Actually looking towards mid. Dendy gets stunned up. Arrow is going to just scrape past the lion. But Zara with the first blood.
Yeah, and that's that level 3 shrapnel, right? Just really doing work there, and that's the only thing that the sniper really has on the SF in this lane is the strength of shrapnel. The last hitting once SF has some souls is just never gonna go in sniper's favor.
But I guess now that Sniper has phase boots, he's got the lane to himself for, you know, 10 seconds.
Bot lane, everyone's being gone on, but
they've got another red fire blast. Yeah, he's dead. Nightmare now from Godblack is a TP support. Doesn't look like there is. J4's getting mana regened up by the Clarity, throws out a magic missile, and Godblack has walked into the wrong neighborhood here. A couple more clicks, he tries to turn around. Nice brain sap. Just about keeping him alive. But it looked like he was going to go dead. What is that? Level 2 brain sap. Okay. So that was plenty. Havos now with the Midas completed. 5 minutes 20. So pretty good timing there, seeing as he went Stout Shield first. It wasn't a full naked Midas. But how are we looking on these supports? Because Seneko with the experience and gold from the assist at mid. The fact that he's now been able to stack and pull through. Axe has gone back to the lane. Shadowfiend has the jungle now while Vansko's gone mid. So they're swapping these lanes around, just trying to eke the most experience that they can out of them, while Shadowfiend farms up into treads. I'm assuming is he going Midas with the Gloves of Haste? It could be SF Midas.
It definitely could be Midas, especially since he started with the gloves. They're gonna go for a kill on the sniper now. I don't think they're gonna catch him. Godblack running in for the sleep, but sniper just runs straight away. And I think Navi's gotta be a little bit upset at this point, picking the Bane Mirana support combo and not having made any kills with it in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they didn't pick up a smoke. Like, they still don't have any smokes. That's one of the main strengths about this combination, is that you can go back into your jungle or hide behind a tier 1, smoke yourself up, and just loop around people. You make that pincer movement play, so you've got someone like Dendi at mid, posturing, trying to bait in Sniper to cross the river, and then all of a sudden you're hit by Nightmare Arrow and triple razors. Looks like they're going to be trying to go down and bot. Vanskor positioning himself for that level 2 arrow. Now Godblack moving forward, he's been spotted by the creep wave, and instantly, PR back up.
And Godblack being a little bit impatient here. First mid and then bots, just sort of charging straight forward.
Oh,
and
no way.
Spotted.
Dendi at mid, one more shrapnel? No, he's used all 3, but Assassinate. Dendi has nothing left to give. Solo kill for the sniper. And bot lane?
Yeah, at the same time, Vanskor just kind of ran through into the jungle, immediately got hexed and then chain stunned and just went down straight away.
PR definitely coming out on top in this early laning phase. You kind of look at Dendi and realize, 50 last hits, he's doing pretty well, but he's died twice now. This Midas might be a good way to come back into the game. Havost obviously free farming up on top lane, but a lot of their lineup relies on solo pickoffs and making them happen early.
Yeah, I worry about what Vanskor's role in this game is going to end up being. I mean, I think you could even argue that in the current meta game, having a support Mirana is not as good as it used to be because those early kills don't actually give you as much. Things even out later on.
Yeah.
But when you're not making the kills, he's got no levels. He's not achieving anything. Is he gonna start helping once he gets level 6?
I don't know, but they're going on to Ivan here. The Hex after Wraithfire Blast. Arrow will land on a creep of all things. Berserker's Call from Ivan going to allow him to survive for a little bit longer. They do in fact take the first life of the Wraith King, but what else can they do? He just turns and fights. Vanskor being critted down, the Nightmare far too late from Godblack, and now Seneko comes in. Nice double stun, impaling both Havost and Godblack. Digiro, they chain their stuns up a little bit there, but it looks like Havost's going to go down regardless. And Finger of Death, Godblack, see ya. No escape from this one. PR, this is a complete rout. Dominating all lanes, 8 and 0, 8 minutes in.
Completely outplayed everywhere at the moment. That's what it looks like. I mean, Dendi got a lot of creeps in the lane, and he's still getting a lot of creeps. Havost also got his fast Midas, but when it comes to like the actual engagements, Navi's just being outplayed every time.
And then you got Cheshire Cat, who has Blink Dagger, 8.5 minutes into the game. He's now a massive threat against Slark, against Shadowfiend. They don't have any tanky items. They've gone for this Midas build where, sure, it might give you a nice comeback mechanism if you feel like that's what you want to do, but their draft seems kind of disjointed.
And the offlane Axe has 15 creeps at 10 minutes or 9 minutes. It's not, I mean, especially since he abandoned the lane, it seems really low to me.
Well, this is the thing, like, he left the bot lane to go and take the stacks at medium and large camp. He took them, got his tranquil boots, or lasso, whoever they got. Dendi, wave of terror, assassinate, he walks back into the fire, but one more click from the sniper. Zara on a killing spree, and PR just cleaning up house. And at this point, you look at the Wraith King, and he's going for a full-on brawling build. Armlet, what can they do to stop him? He's realized that the double Midas strat means that he can just go for any item that gives him HP, really. Run into them, and there's no damage output from Na'Vi right now.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not just brawl your hearts out? Because the Mirana, the Bane, the Axe, right now they're doing almost nothing. Maybe when Bane gets level 6, Bane will be relevant to these kind of fights. Axe desperately needs a Blink Dagger. So you've got a Shadow Fiend and a Slark, and both of them went Midas. So it's just not clear that any of the Na'Vi heroes really contributes anything close to what the Power Rangers heroes contribute to fights at the moment.
And when you look at the net worth graph, sure, it's 10 minutes into the game, but granted, 6 minutes in, it was dead even. There was nothing in it. And then Na'Vi decided to take those small skirmishes to try and, you know, defend their tier 1, tier 2 tower bot. Havost left the top lane where he was getting free farm. They didn't contest the enemy jungle. All of a sudden, PR have over 5,000 net worth lead over their opponents. Havost going to find a kill here onto J4. The Vengeful Spirit's an easy target, but Soneko with a double Earth Spikes, he has been on point.
Well, at least Na'Vi are finally off the mark. They
get one on the scoreboard. Now they're looking for more. They know D2CL probably doesn't have his ultimate. 80 seconds until that comes back off cooldown. But with that armlet, there's no way of actually ripping through that HP. Na'Vi are being marauded here. PR are basically pirates on the high seas, while Na'Vi, I don't know, they're like wenches in some poor little village town.
Just getting completely pillaged, looted.
Yeah. Words escape me. PR, I've seen them the past couple of weeks, and they've played, you know, on an acceptable level. Nothing's really surprised me or jumped out at me. But this, they're just on a completely different level to Na'Vi right now. They are being outclassed immensely.
And it's hard to even see, I mean, I want to say Na'Vi's got 2 Midases, they've got scaling heroes, maybe they'll just try to take it late game, but I think their supports are a lot less useful in the late game than Vengeful Spirit and Lion are.
Like,
so
Fiend's Grip takes mana away, so that's decent against the Wraith King. I can see that working mid to late game if Goblak can get an unimpeded Fiend's Grip onto the Wraith King. But you're dealing with so many stuns and disables, like Flamebreak alone. Oh, mid lane. Cheshire Cat catches Vanscore mid-leap. And with the Assassinate, more than enough damage between the 4 of them to finish that poor little guy off. But yeah, the spells and ultimates that Na'Vi have, the skill sets that their heroes have, sure, they might be useful overall in a draft, but PR just seem to have the upper edge on every single matchup.
yeah, and a support Mirana who has yet to hit an arrow at like 13 minutes, despite having a Bane. I mean, no offense to Vanscore, but he doesn't want to be where he is right now, right? It probably feels pretty bad being Vanscore right now.
It's just not that game. Let's see, can Na'Vi come back into this? They've got 3 heroes in the bottom 3 of net worth. The Axe was just below the Vengeful Spirit until a second ago. How far away is he till Blink? 800, 900 even, 2250 that he needs to save up, and it's 13 minutes in. 13 minutes is kind of the benchmark. Like 11 to 13 is when Axe should have Blink Dagger. We're going to be looking at, what, 16-minute Blink?
Yeah, unless he suddenly gets a surprise triple kill somehow. I suppose one good thing for Na'Vi at the moment is that the sniper has gone the pure glass cannon board, so theoretically a voice could actually kill him, and Na'Vi smoking into their own jungle looking for a kill here.
Oh no! That is actually the worst thing that could have happened there. Fiend's Grip wasted onto J4 as he launched the magic missile swap now. Really good play from him. Launches out the wave of terror, but Cheshire Cat jumps in. Yules from Dendi, keeping him alive just a little bit longer. The pounce from Slark not catching onto the Batrider. And D2CL just in the middle of everyone, slicing away with his massive sword. Assassinate onto Vanscore. Can they catch them? Batrider jumps forward. He's still got Firefly going, but Moonlight Shadow allows the safety for the rest of Na'Vi to retreat.
It's actually an unspoken advantage of projectile stuns. People always say that having a direct stun, like, you know, Lion's Hex or Rubik's Telekinesis, is superior to having a projectile stun. But if you have a direct stun, it's impossible to cancel channeling that way.
Yeah.
If you're the target, you know, you can't like screw over the Bane's timing by going at the same time as him. Either you get him first or he gets you first. So it's a kind of nice thing about having projectile, actually.
That was literally the worst thing that could happen, though. J4 launching Magic Missile as Godblack went for the Phoenix Grip. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just go for the Nightmare, to be honest. Keep the Phoenix Grip for someone like the Wraith King. Because
yeah, especially because his cast animation's pretty slow.
Well, Na'Vi 11 kills behind, 15 minutes into the game. Roshan is a distinct possibility for them with Shadow Fiend and Slark. They can do a lot of damage, but it's just time constraints. Because if you go Roshan and you spend, 45 seconds to a minute in there, maybe even a little bit longer, because Medallion is nearly done with the Mirana. That's what I'm looking for, really. That increase in speed of the Rosh taking. You're still giving away 3 lanes to PR, maybe both jungles as well.
To be honest, I want to say that at 15 minutes, being 5, 6, 7,000 gold behind, when you're 11 kills and how many towers behind? It's actually, it looks a lot better than it should for Na'Vi. I mean, these Midases are doing work. Kavost and Dendi getting a lot of farm, and the game's closer than it seems. We get the sense from watching all these fights, the game is pretty one-sided.
Yeah.
But I think that Na'Vi is kind of one big fight away from being fully in the game.
And that's all it takes, really, is one fight to turn things around and bring things back to even, if not give them an advantage. If they can kill... What kind of streaks are we looking at? Killing spree for the Wraith King. Sniper is on 4 for 0. So we're looking...
Or if they were to win a fight and get rush.
Oh, man.
That'd do the trick.
Can they stop this? Cheshire Cat is invis. No. He spots them all out. Arrow's going to fly, but they know exactly what's happening. Ditchirad dodges that one. Havost on the back line trying to take down the Batrider, but Cheshire Cat's having none of it. This was the worst thing that could possibly happen. Like I was mentioning in the Raid Dire Jungle, that was the worst. Now this is the worst. It just goes from one bad situation to another. The Batrider with a lucky invis rune standing in exactly the right place, watching the Moonlight Shadow, watching the arrow, seeing every single movement that Na'Vi make. That's pretty much a full team wipe.
You probably won't see someone get a better value out of an invis rune ever. Sometimes people get a kill, maybe 2 kills.
But that's a full team wipe.
Yeah.
Oh, Vanscore is their lasso. Do you even need it? Apparently not. Seneko dominating streak. He's now 4-0-9. Blink Dagger online plus the urn. So many items on these little support heroes. Vengeful Spirit even with Medallion and 700 gold. Ditchira has initiation possibilities of Blink and Armlet. Then Zara, Sniper, Mask of Madness plus Sanjin Yasha.
You said earlier 16 minutes Blink Dagger on Axe. It's 17 minutes 30. He doesn't have Blink.
It's getting rough. He's 0-5-1. And the thing is, I look at Navi's draft and think, okay, that's a decent draft. It's just they haven't executed any of their lanes at all to the full extent of the heroes they have. The Axe, sure, he's going to have a rough lane at bot, but the fact that Dendi has then taken some of the jungle camps away from him and he hasn't managed to farm the jungle efficiently just meant that his Blink Dagger has been delayed after delayed.
Well, they're going to try to go on Ditchiraya, but he's got his ulti up and there's a tower up. There's even supports already on their way in. This could end up going really badly for Na'Vi.
He just toggles his armor. They can kill him a first time, but a second time is going to be a tall order. Seneka comes in, doesn't get the double earth spike. Oh man! The level 2 Finger of Death. Her voice does not have enough HP to survive through that one.
And this poor Axe keeps getting baited into these little skirmishes, and he's like, guys, come on, I'm so close to Blink. And they're like, no, go. And then he dies, and no Blink. At this point, I think if he got his Blink, it might not even be such a big deal. He might just die.
They're going to get a kill on the line here, possibly. The stun from Ditchira, though, cancelling the Fiend's Grip. Now they turn around. PR instantly take down Dendi, and Godblack, he's going to fall shortly after. This Wraith King is just destroying people.
Ditchira just crits at Dendi for half his HP. That was like 600 damage crits or something.
Is this literally where you call GG as Na'Vi? How far behind are you? We're looking at 19 minutes in and they're 15,000 net worth behind.
Yeah, and that's about 4 or 5 minutes ago they were only about 7,000 behind, so it's gotten a lot worse those last few fights.
Like the Midases have worked well for them, But the fact that they've been keeping up with experience and gold, and they haven't been too far behind the Wraith King and Sniper, means that when the Lion and Ven, get solo kills on them, it's big experience swings.
Ooh, Vanscore hit an arrow.
He's hit a couple, it's just that they haven't been important at all. His arrows, they're landing as just non-impactful.
What is this Axe meant to do now? He's basically, in this base defense, Axe is a level 1 battle angler. That's what he is. I mean, he cannot contribute anything else to this base defense.
I don't know, because Vanscore just gets plinked down by the Sniper. His pea shooter does more damage than Vanscore can sustain through. They're going to lose their racks before 20 minutes. Or at 20 minutes. Melee range racks falls. Melee, do they still go for this? I don't see there being a risk at all for PR. Maybe Dendy gets in there, but he's sitting on 16 souls. That's, one thing that you could potentially think about is he gets a Yule's Requiem off onto Sniper or something like that. It's just not happening. Shadowblade Havost maybe goes in there. Are there sentries down for Power Rangers? Doesn't look like there are. So they've got no reveal to spot out Havost when he comes. Oh, they've got Gem. They've got a Gem on the Batrider. Who needs sentries when you've got that true sight?
The PR just move to another lane and go straight up for axes now? I mean, they just saw Navi, entire team alive, no attempt to save their axes.
Who's heading? Havost is like, screw this, guys. I'm farming bot lane. I'm going to try and take a tier 1. Give us a little bit of gold. I don't know. Dendy with Midas Yules, 1,000 gold in the bank. We're getting closer to Blink on Axe. But that's a full Assault Cuirass finished up for D2CL.
Havost probably will get that tier 1, because I think PR are just going to commit to their axes, but getting the tier 1 in the beta scheme of things is just not going to affect the game at all.
It's not just Havost though. Dendy and Goblak are down here. I can't even begin to imagine what the plan is. Because this is one of those situations where you need a concrete plan. You can't just play reactional and think, okay, if they do this, we do that. We go from A to B to C. You have to have, okay, this is plan A. If plan A fails, we're screwed. Then he's gonna get a Finger of Death. He has buyback, so he comes back in, but he's probably got like 10 souls, 14 souls remaining. Ivan now, D2CL, he swaps the Nightmare across, but Wraithfire Blast is more than enough to just keep it in place. There's still Reincarnation on this poor old Wraith King.
I think this game's gonna be called any second.
Yeah, that's GG called by Havost. So Power Rangers, 29-2. Over 20,000 net worth lead, 21 minutes, 22 minutes into the game. Game 1 taken in some fashion, I've got to say, I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, and 68% of Dota 2 launch bettors are going to be pretty unhappy at the moment.
Was it that big? The
68 in favor of Navi. Yep.
Oh man. Well, there's nothing else. We've gone over this entire game, like taking it down to pieces over the past 5 minutes. That was just PR completely outskilling Navi. Or I don't know, game plan wise, Navi seemed a little bit lackluster. But anyway, we'll be back with game number 2 in a short while. We'll see if Navi can put up a better performance, because they need to up against this Power Rangers squad.